Take a walk today. We're going out the Florida room door, which is on the back side of the house. And this is the dog yard. And I've already discussed the mulberry tree. There it is. One of my favorites. I already told the story of that. And then I have a bush over here and the apple trees down there in the corner, and the rose of Sharon in the very far corner. And the Yocinto cherry back there. And one of my oaks past the fence there. This is the shop and dog yard. There's Sparky. I didn't know he was there. I thought he was out. I let him out to make his rounds. He loops the property. See if there's anything he wants to harass, apparently. And this is the shop. It's a little bit more cluttered than I like right at the moment. Been busy. But I do have the ultimate pegboard. I worked on all that last summer. My beloved lawn tractor. I spend more time with that lawn tractor than with any human, that's for sure, in the summer. Then from this door here on the shop, we came in the west door. This is the south door. It's about 0.97, I've done it with GPS, to the boat ramp before Gibson Lake. We're not walking to Fort Gibson though, to the lake. There's my other pecan tree I mentioned. We'll get a shot of that as we get further away from it, but it sits right here. Got one on each side of the property. That was the east yard where I started another video in a east pasture in the mailbox. I'll kind of hit these plants and trees down through here. I've got so many in the front. I'll look at that again, but that one over further is a Redbud. It's done pretty good now. I don't think it's the greatest location for it, but it's okay. Then I got landscaping over here with some bushes in front of the house. Then this is a very robust crepe myrtle. It's done well. I transplanted that in '02. It wasn't very big. I moved it back some, so it looked like it's had a little winter kill on the top. I don't know why. It wasn't that cold this winter. And this is a Spirea bush. Which it's already bloomed, has white flowers. It's nice. I believe the brown thrashers are either nesting in there or we're checking it out. They like it, I know that. And that's a Shumard oak right there. It's really done well. I planted that several years ago. It's doing well. Got a lot of new growth on it. Now that all that rain stopped and we're getting some sun, it's really taken off. This is a red maple. It's third year. Planted in 2013, and it's really, gosh, it's 15 feet. It's doing good. The red maples like it here. I'm working my way to another red maple down at the other end that I planted years ago. And they're fairly fast growing. The next two here are crepe myrtles. And they're not doing well here. They're dying back too much in the winter. They're getting too much north wind. And I wanted to transplant them and put trees in this year, and it was so wet for so long, I missed the season really. I wanted to transplant in early May, and it's too. I just think it's too late now. We'll try again next year. I want to move them, or I might give them away. But they're not faring well here. They're dying back too much, and I planted these in 2013. I bought them along with that red maple over there and put them all in together. They're just getting too much exposure north of wind. They're a southern plant, and I think that's my theory at least, why that one back there, that big tall crepe myrtle, does so well, is because it's protected on the south side of the house from the north wind. This is a Colorado spruce. It's old and didn't grow. Birds have nested in there. I've trimmed it back a few times. I've been messing with it and found a bird nest in there. So it does serve a purpose, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. I thought it'd get tall. It's very slow. That's a large river birch. That was the first tree planted out here in the late 90s. I wasn't here. And it's had some tough years, but it really kind of stalled out in the drought of 2011-12. They need a lot of water. And it's kind of bounced back now. But after 2011 and 12, 2013 and 14, it struggled. But it seems to be doing much better this year. I planted this one in 2013. This is a pin oak. And it's much slower, of course, than a red maple. The one down at the end there. But it's doing well. A thriving red maple. Boy, it's tall. This is the driveway. It's about a quarter mile. Got pasture over here. That's the west pasture. This is the south pasture. I mow this road back about one width past the ditch. And there's some other old trees up here as you get to the driveway entrance from the county road here. I mow this road about every 2 to 4 weeks on the sides. Somebody's mowing over there. Everybody's trying to get their mowing done. There's a line of trees right there out in the pasture. That's a hackberry. Several hackberries of these in an oak. They're old. And then over there is a cul-de-sac. This is semi-rural, I suppose is what you'd call it. There's some development near the lake, but there's still open areas, and there's another pond over there. Then, for the people that come out there, that's the way to the lake right there. There's the pasture. There's a mockingbird. I bet he's following me. He's kind of like a pet. He knows me. He's not scared of me. And when I mow, he goes behind me looking for insects. And I've also had that happen with kingbirds. They'll follow me mowing. And I've had them all follow me all the way up here when I'm mowing from the house. See if I'm going to stir up some bugs for them. Then it was many years ago, 0203, right in here, I was driving out, and I saw a little covey of quail, Bobwhite. There's a female and the little chicks. I don't remember, there's 3 to 5 of them. And let this vehicle go by on the road. And after that, I hear Bobwhites not every year, but off and on. And it's been several years now since I've heard any, but at one time they were viable out here. They've taken kind of a hit in a lot of areas, habitat destruction, and that was the only year I saw the chicks out here. Those mockingbirds went back down. He was following me, see if I was gonna mow or something. But I haven't heard him in several years now. I used to hear him about every other year. I'd hear probably one, he'd move around, and whistle and Bobwhite. Then there's been years, it's been a while with this too, in the winter have a northern Harrier out here in the field, which is a raptor. They're a glider. They glide over the fields real low for mice and whatever they can find. And they're really beautiful to watch. I love watching northern Harriers. But it's almost noon. It's supposed to get close to 90 today. There's all my tree line. All the way down. And all the ones up towards the front here were planted. This was originally all pasture. It's in theory a Bermuda pasture, but hasn't been managed. And in Oklahoma, you do not walk out in that field in May or June, actually April. You will find out what ticks are all about. Probably some chiggers too. That's the drawback, Oklahoma. I lived in Colorado twice and Wyoming once and never got a tick hiking or being outdoors. And there's low humidity. I miss all that. Probably getting some wind noise on this, but unless it's really bad, I'm going to stick with this one. This video. The ditches are finally drying out from all the rain. 20.5 inches of rain in May. There's a dog off in the distance barking at me. And there's Sparky down there, sitting there watching me. So it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Early June. Starting to get warmer. Start hitting the 90s here, 90 degrees at least, in the first, second week of June on average. Humidity ramps up a little. Starts feeling like summer. The Mockingbird, he was on the mailbox there. He's keeping an eye on me. Sparky laying out in the driveway. Boy, he's got the life. And there's the pecan tree. The crows will come out. If there's any left, the deer get them. All the wildlife will come out here, and birds scarf up the squirrels. They'll should go after those pecans in the fall. But I've seen the crows come out on this railroad ties right here in the winter. And they'll take the pecans and stand on the railroad ties. You can hear them. I didn't know what the noise was first time. And they're out here, the American crows in the winter, with those pecans, and they hold them in their beak and crack them against the, stand on those railroad ties and crack those pecans open and eat them in the winter. It'd be in the depths of the winter, January, February. They're